Hey everyone, there's a player I want to talk to you about. His name is Tristan Vukcevic. He plays for the Washington Wizards. He's 7 foot. I was hoping the Lakers drafted him a couple years ago. They passed on him, picked someone who I have no idea whether he's even on the team anymore or not. They might have traded the pick. I don't remember. But this is the guy that I wanted 2 years ago in the draft. He was picked 42nd by Washington in the second round, and he is the big we need. I'll put it like that. If you watch the Lakers right now, we have faults. Every team has faults, right? So it's kind of not saying anything. One of our glaring deficiencies, though, is that we have big men that I don't think JJ Reddick wants to play. You know, if you look at Jackson Hayes, who often plays well, but there's a certain kind of game where he is not receiving lobs and he's not involved much at all. In games of that nature, JJ Reddick does not want to play a center. We have no big man to play. So take last night's game against Dallas, for example. There were moments where Anthony Davis and Daniel Gafford were in the game, and the Lakers had no big man in to counter those two players, right? So ultimately what you end up doing is you make a decision to give up a certain amount of offensive and defensive rebounds, right? To allow a certain amount of penetration. And in my opinion, that's unacceptable. Look, this is the thing about basketball. There is a constant in basketball, and that is that the rim and the ball, well, it's that the rim is 10 feet high. That's the one I'll speak to. The rim is 10 feet high. So when you play, you know what? The rim is 10 feet high, and the court is of certain dimensions, of finite dimensions, right? So when you play Gabe Vincent and Goodwin in the backcourt, and you refuse to play a big man, all of a sudden you're going back to Frank Vogel size lineups. You're going back to Ham size lineups. In a game in which the rim is a constant 10 feet high and the court is a finite size. So you're just playing small in many different ways is what I'm getting at. And if it's one thing that Rob Pelinka needs to do for this team, is find a center that JJ Reddick wants to play. If the Lakers could play Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves 48 minutes a game, and there was a guarantee that they would not get hurt and they would not get tired, the Lakers would do it. JJ Reddick would do it. I get it. That's in a dreamland. It's never going to happen. I get that. But I'm talking about the value of the player to the coach. The value of those players to JJ Reddick is, if they were 100% healthy, if they were going to remain healthy, and if they would never get tired, he would play them 48 minutes a game. We do not have any center that we could say that about on the roster. There is no center that if they stayed healthy, if they didn't get tired, if they stayed healthy and didn't get tired, there is no center on the roster that JJ Reddick would want to play 48 minutes. Do you see what I'm saying now? We need a center that he almost loathes taking out of the game. That his sphincter gets a little bit tighter because he took this player out of the game. In my opinion, right, given who JJ Reddick is, because that's the other half of this. The team needs certain things, but JJ Reddick needs certain things. He is not going to play a certain kind of player. Tristan Vukcevic is the type of player JJ Reddick will play. I have watched him from time to time. I've actually watched him since the draft 2 years ago, because he played in, I want to say, he played in a scrimmage at the draft combine, or was it Portsmouth? At the draft combine, and he killed it. He killed it. He gave off Kyle Kuzma, but a 7-foot Kyle Kuzma type vibe to me. And in Washington, see, I live in Northern Virginia, and I pay attention. I go to Washington Wizard games sometimes, and I look to see if he's going to play or not. And every time I've gone to watch them, he doesn't get time to play. But when he does, he puts up numbers. And in my opinion, Washington is trying to hide him. He's on a 2-way contract. According to Hoops Hype, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent next year. He turns 23, I think, tomorrow on the 11th. 7 feet tall. He's shooting 36 or 38% from 3. 48% from the field. He has a good feel for the game. He is a good passer. This is the guy the Lakers need to shoot for. And this is the vision pick. When I say vision pick, this is what I mean by that. No one is doing the Lakers any favors. And everything you do is going to cost extra. There is such a thing as the Laker tax. It's been like that since I was a kid. I've been watching the Lakers since 1982, 83-ish. There's always been a Laker tax. The way the Lakers got around it was they had vision. When Bill Burka found Kyle Kuzma, he had vision. Jerry West was a huge visionary. He drafted, in one draft, the backcourt, a championship backcourt, in Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant. Had a great roster. This is Jerry West. Had a great roster ready, and all you had to do was sprinkle in Shaq. And he had a plan for that. He thought so far into the future and thought so far out of the box. And that's not what I see from Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka has little to no vision. Rob Pelinka is a I ain't going to say a DEI hire, but he was hired because he knows Kobe Bryant. He knew Kobe Bryant. Rob Pelinka is not the most deserving person in the world to me. But that's okay. It's what we have. Rob Pelinka would rather appease management and the fans than actually win, in my opinion. He is not about doing anything that puts his neck on the line. He's about making moves that get him to another contract. I'm not saying that that's who he is. There's no way for me to know. I'm not psychic. I'm saying that's what I've seen. Right? He gets no credit for the Luka Doncic trade. I'm going to say that in every video that I bring up Rob Pelinka. He gets no credit for filling out the roster after the Lakers acquired Anthony Davis and won in the bubble. He gets no credit for that. All those guys were guys that were left over. The original plan that he had failed. It was not to pick up the best of the rest. It was to pick up the best of the rest after he signed Paul George or Kawhi Leonard. I can't remember who it was. It was one of those two guys. But that was the plan. The plan was a big 3, not a big 2, and the best of what was left. He gets no credit for that. Those guys were literally the only guys left to sign in the NBA at the time. Right? He gets no credit for Dalton Connect, who fell to him at 17. You might could give him credit for Dorian Finney-Smith. But in my opinion, again, this is what Rob Pelinka does. He listened to the crowd and listened to what was popular. And he went out and got the one guy that I could tell you Trevor Lane and Sliwa and all those cats been yelling about for years. That's the one guy he happened to go and get. Yo, man, dude is doing like this. Okay, we'll go get that guy. Right? The court of public opinion wants to, let's go get that guy. Luka, 30 other GMs would have made that trade. He gets no credit for any of this, man. The dude has generally sat on his hands. That's what he did. This is a move that Rob Pelinka... You know what? I got to go over one other thing, too. He sat on his hands with Jay Huff and Scottie Pippen Jr. Those guys could have helped us this year. And he sat on his hands with those guys. Jay Huff is a stretch center. The type of center that JJ Reddick would play. And Rob Pelinka never signed him. Let them both walk. After he developed and cultivated those guys, he let them both walk. The Russell Westbrook trade, right? Think about this. We had a championship team. In my opinion, we just got hurt the following year. That's all that happened. There were injuries. That team could have potentially won again, and he blew it up. Then blamed LeBron James and Anthony Davis for it. That's who took the blame for that. So, I got little to no respect for Rob Pelinka. Because I'm 47 years old. I've seen people who move like him. They move with self-preservation. That's the number one thing to them. And that's the number one thing to Rob Pelinka. Self-preservation. If he makes a big move and it doesn't work and he has no one to pin it on, it's all on him. And he don't want it all on him. Been there, done that, seen cats like him. He don't want it. So, Tristan Vukcevic is a move that Rob Pelinka, if he is doing his homework, should absolutely make. This guy is the guy that JJ Reddick would... He's a center. JJ Reddick would play 48 minutes if he could. He's a center JJ Reddick wants to play. I don't know what else to say about this guy. The reason why I'm putting this out now is because I do feel like Rob Pelinka or JJ Reddick or one of them cats, someone in the Laker organization, I do believe that they listen to Trevor Lane and they listen to Alan Sliwa and they listen to the Kaminsky brothers. I do believe they absolutely listen to those guys. And I think that if, look, I'm no one. Right now, I'm no one. I'm trying to get the channel up. If it comes up good, if not good, I don't care. But if I could get the narrative out that Washington is hiding this dude named Tristan Vukcevic in hopes that they could sign him at the end of this year, and no one's seen him, no one's coming for him. I'm telling you, that's what they're doing. The Lakers have a chance to pick up possibly an all-star caliber center on the cheap. Go look at this guy. Look at his film. Look at his per 48 numbers. And you'll see that he is a 2010 center who could shoot the three, who could pass, has a very he has a great floor game, and he is actually effective in the post. And he defends the rim better than Nikola Jokic. I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying he defends the rim better than Nikola Jokic. This dude is man, I don't look. I'm afraid that Rob Pelinka, I don't think he does his homework. You look at Brandon Podziemski. That's the dude I wanted the Lakers to take at the 17th pick, the year they picked Jalen Hood-Schifino. I wanted them to get Pods. And I don't know who was behind it that year. I think we got rid of Ryan West and in the Bus son. Those guys were working really well in finding players for us. And I think they found Austin Reeves. But lately, it does not feel that way. And, you know, I'm not a huge fan of college basketball, but I could watch 15 minutes of a player and know. You know? And that player may get to the NBA and bust. But more often than not, that player gets to the NBA and they have a career at the least. Right? You could just look at Brandon Podziemski's game and tell, yo, this dude could play. He may not get it right away, but in time he's going to get it. And he'll average 20 plus points a game at some point in time in his NBA career. Very Steve Nash-esque. Except bigger. 6'5". Yeah. I'm bringing this up because I'm afraid Rob Pelinka and whoever he has scouting is not doing their homework. And I believe that dude is relatively lazy and that he would rather listen to a podcast, listen to Trevor Lane, Slee Wolf, somebody like that, and figure out who to go get, as opposed to actually do the research himself and believe in his own knowledge and figure out who to go get. Mind you, this is the dude who skipped Ty Lue, who is a fantastic coach. Dude, I don't see many coaches who actually have a real impact on the game. I could name a handful. Ty Lue has a real impact on the game. What's my man in San Antonio? Old dude. Greg Popovich. He had an impact on his team in the game. Phil Jackson, impact. Outside, 3 to 5 coaches, they could come or go. He whiffed when he did not pick up Ty Lue. Big time. Ty Lue keeps the Clippers relevant. And if he had the personnel, oh my goodness. He just doesn't have it. But yeah, I'm afraid that the only way for Pelinka to hear certain things is for names to get in the ether. And then he could pluck it out the ether conveniently and say, well, how about this guy? Because he ain't doing his homework. He ain't doing a damn thing, that guy. And he is no visionary at all. And that's, if you're going to be the Lakers GM, you have to be visionary. So anyway, this is my first video on Tristan Vukcevic. I'm going to make more videos just because his name needs to get out for Laker Nation so that Rob Pelinka could get a hold of it, let it get in his ear. Maybe he could get up off his ass and go do something. You know, I mean, proactively, not having Luka. Hey, you want Luka? No, not like that. So that Rob Pelinka could get off his butt and go do something that helps the team. Right? Anyway, yeah, this is Pure Uncut Lakers, and I'll hit you with another video maybe tomorrow before the Houston game. Maybe do a prediction video. All right then, y'all have a good day.